But I have never met a horse that is just a trail horse that couldn't use some softening up. So Pete and I are on the trails, and we're actually working on our magnets. And the hilarious thing is, he actually has a magnet today to go on the trails. So it doesn't matter. I'm trying to do this one-handed. A magnet is a magnet. And so he kind of started walking a whole lot faster with some anticipation. And his owner likes a fast walk. That's not necessarily a problem, but the anticipation to me is a sign of something that could become a problem later. And as you guys know, I like to fix things and exaggerate to teach. And so that way the owner doesn't have to do it so much. So what I'm working on is what's called the tree-to-tree exercise. And when he starts walking a little fast, a little forward, then I'm going to wrap him around this tree. Now, you're supposed to do this two-handed. I only have one hand to video. Don't have a helper out here with me today, so I'm going to just wrap him, change my hand on the reins here, like kind of make them short, but then put them at an angle. So I've got more on the shorter rein on the left than I do the right, and I'm going to push him around the tree. And I say push him around the tree because that means that I don't have two hands to soften him. But what really softens a horse? Forward motion. So when he gets a little sticky on me, I need to push my legs onto him. Good job. And then I'll not get dizzy here and see where I'm going. But every time he was to speed up and get like stuck in a forward motion, then I'm going to go ahead and wrap around. So what does this do? Takes away that anticipation of hitting 10 miles today, that endurance horse kind of mentality. Let's go and let's get it done. But it also works on his softness because a forward or a straight horse is a stiff horse. And so when they got all that anticipation of let's go somewhere, it's great for impulsion exercises. If you need to work on your transitions, holy cow, it's fantastic. But it does create stiffness. So every time I try to wrap around this tree, especially one-handed, and he gets stiff on me and he doesn't immediately wrap around that tree and wrap around my inside leg, then I'm going to kick him or bump him with my calves. Depending on how the horse responds is how hard my correction is. So like there, it was pretty nice. I want that head tilted to the inside a little bit. I want the rib wrapped around the tree. Of course, there he wrapped around it too well. And in a perfect world, you're switching hands each time. Then once you know which side he needs help with, and they all need to help one side more than the other, right? Then I'll just creep my hand down here on this side, and let's do this one. And that supples the horse up by using my legs to drive him forward. And it also takes away his idea that, hey, we're going to do 10 miles today. Let's go. Let's get it done. Now, for those that really like a horse like that, you don't have to do this. But I have never met a horse that is just a trail horse that couldn't use some softening up. And so forward is good, but that tense, I gotta go forward sucks. A lot of people end up like pulling on the reins a lot and getting that prancy trot thing. That's exhausting. I used to love that when I was 20. I am over that now. The horse is tired of it. I'm tired of it. And it just creates so much problems with physical problems with the horse because you're pulling on him the whole time. And you can't tell me that's not exhausting for a horse to be collected up into a jog trot the whole entire way. And I know you are. So why not, if you have the places, to go out here and just practice that? And of course, you see now he's not really trying to go fast, but so I'll go a little further this time, and we'll just see if he does want to go fast. Now, he wasn't being horrible, but again, I exaggerate to teach because my job is to teach this horse all the things, not just to go on trails, but not to have too much anticipation, anxiety, I gotta go. But I also need him soft because most of my people are not professional riders. they are going to make mistakes. So the horse has got to be a little tolerant with somebody pulling on his face, or maybe not using their reins correctly, maybe not using their legs correctly, all the things, So I need to supple this horse up a little more than average, let's say. Look how far that creek's down. Crazy, isn't it? It's crazy to think that it flooded 54 feet above flood stage. And so see how we're going towards home and he really slowed down? The hilarious thing is my horses actually get trail sour. They want to stay on the trail. They don't want to go home. And that's a cool thing to have. But again, I had that magnet, and a magnet is a magnet. I don't care if it's another horse. I don't care if it's the barn. Or today it was the trails. And again, he wasn't bad, but if I would have just let him go forward at that marching kind of fast walk, it would have become worse and worse and worse. And he would have done the first, you always heard this, right? The first mile, he just really wants to go. And he's really marching fast at a walk. He's not trotting, but man, is he surely walking really fast, kind of tense. Well, how do we get rid of that? Yes, after he gets tired, they quit. I would rather have my horse start out at the beginning and be soft and supple and, mosey in. Most of my riders are over 50. They're done with the hot-blooded, yeehaw kind of horse. And so they want to mosey. And if you're fighting a horse for 10 miles on a trail, it's just no fun. So I'm going to practice good habits. See, there he's kind of pulling on me, so I had to kick him with my legs. Practice good habits so my horse has them. This also gives my owner a tool that if this ever comes up, I can say, oh, just go do the bending exercise. And if she doesn't have trees, it doesn't matter. She'll just pick a spot in the grass. Or pick a spot 20 feet forward. He starts marching. She just does it right there, assuming her trails are wide enough to do such things. And if he likes to stop and scratch his face, we'll allow that too. He goes, yeah, let's just stand still. Just a wonderful tool. And I'll try to illustrate this another time, how we do it in training, because I use it everywhere. The bending exercise is what I call yoga for horses. And it gets horses to learn how to be soft and supple and take away that forward braciness and anxiety. So it works great at horse shows. It works like if you just took him out of the stall and he's kind of stiff and he needs just a good suppling kind of warm up. It works when he's distracted at a horse show and is calling to his friend and that sort of thing. It's a go-to tool because it just has so many uses and it's non-abusive. It's safe for the horse and rider. And it's just plain and simple, it just works. I think he's over it. So we let him rest a little bit, and we're just going to see where is the anticipation. Does he want to go fast? So there's not a bad walk. He's walking forward, but not bad. But one click above this, and I'm going to wrap him around a tree because again, I know she likes a forward walk, but a forward walk means you're driving from the hindquarters, but the head is lowered and there's a relaxation to the back. It's that head up, you feel it. You feel the braciness right through their back, and it makes you tense up. So as soon as he was to do that, if I don't have a tree, I'm just going to do it right here in the flat open. And wrap them around till he softens. I'll do both reins if I can, with two hands on the reins, right? And switch side to side, and that would be called bending serpentines. And I'll just wrap them around that way. And I might even, let's talk about this. If he was to trot, I want to let him trot through it. Forward is your friend when it comes to suppling. And so if he was to trot, I'm going to keep wrapping him around at a trot. But the difference is on a horse that wants to be anticipatory, and he wants to anticipate, then I'm going to do it until he walks and softens. I don't want to just keep practicing a trot because as good as that exercise can be, what am I trying to promote? I'm trying to promote a good, relaxed walk. So think about what your goal is. But if I push my legs on him to soften and he trots forward, I'm going to say, good idea. but I'm just going to keep trotting until he softens, and he offers to walk on his own, walk a couple more circles, and then I'm going to let the reins loose, go on. So there we go here. The hardest part here, like I said, is just to switch your reins around. But again, if he's soft and supple, I shouldn't really have to have 2 reins on this horse at this point. My legs are what's going to soften. It's like right there, he took his head away. I just bump my calves onto him and say, hey, now, keep wrapping. If he needed to, I would roll my spur on his rib cage. But that's usually at the beginning of training when they just don't understand how to use their bodies. In his point, he is a neck reining kind of horse, so I ought to be able to just push both my legs on you, catty quarter my reins like this. Maybe, like there, I have to shorten up a little bit because I'm pulled on the wrong side. There we go. And just push him forward with my legs. See how he really wraps around? Okay, we're ready to wrap around too much. Didn't I tell you this is hard? That's why, remember I said that horses have to be tolerant? Well, sometimes we might run into the tree. I hope the horse is smart enough to take care of me in that aspect. But this is the kind of walk I want on the trails. I don't mind if he eats a little bite of grass. I mind if he stops and he eats a bite of grass. But if he is so relaxed that he can just grab him a bite while he moves around and I'm working him, fantastic. That means we're on the same page and he is not stressed about what I'm asking for. He's not stressed about his environment. Nice job, buddy. And again, I would lay money on almost every horse that's just exclusively a trail horse. When you go trying to wrap them around and supple them, they are going to fight you. And it's because that straight lines and always, hitting those miles is great for getting that impulsion, which he had plenty of impulsion, but it's bad for getting suppling. And so a good horse has equal amounts of suppling and impulsion. Good job, buddy. Good boy. And I'll show in another video at some point here about, you can tell when this is working, that when you drop the reins and let your hand come forward, that his head lowers. If you let go of the reins after you suppled them and his head pops back up, it's a pretty good sign that you're going to have to go the other way and keep doing it a little bit longer. And again, it's just something they learn to practice. But when you let them loose, if they're already back to being hollowed out, then we just need to work a little longer. And remember, this is good for the horse's body. We're trying to promote muscle tone and using his body correctly. And a horse that's hollowed out and trying to rush forward is going to have a sore back. He's going to develop hock problems. You know all the stuff. Good job, buddy. But there's what I like. I want him to supple around. Let's practice it around this tree stump. And we're going to say supple around. And then, okay, yeah, the head comes down all right. And the head comes down. There we go. So, again, you don't have to have a tree. We could just say, push my legs onto him. If he doesn't move forward enough, then I have to add a little more outside leg. He might think it means pivot. If he doesn't bend enough, tilt his head to the inside, then I can either shorten my inside rein or I can add a little inside leg. And then when I drop my hands forward, what happens? Head kind of come up, he's looking. But he's not anticipating, but the head did still come up. So then I would just go the other way. Let's say I was just practicing this for an exercise, just to teach him this. Then I would see right there, he's kind of looking. So anytime he was to look, let's say he was working around other horses in a warm-up ring at a horse show. If I let go of the reins and he's popping his head up going, oh my gosh, look at this, then that'd be an opportunity for me to do it again. Nice job, buddy. I'm not saying I don't want my horse looking and being aware of his surroundings, but it's that tenseness, that oh my gosh thing. That's where you say, well, they spooked without warning. Well, yeah, they're tense, waiting for the other shoe to drop, and then something snaps behind them in the woods. They are going to spook. Plus, you're going to be tense because you feel it. So, I want them relaxed and happy in their surroundings, and we've got to help them a little bit with that. Horses are prey animals. They need a good leader that says, hey buddy, why don't we just relax? And so many people say, I want a horse that just takes care of me. The horse is screaming the same thing. I just want a rider that takes care of me. And so your job is to take care of your horse. And even if you don't feel confident, you have to do it anyway. And that's where giving you a job sometimes helps. So instead of you sitting there thinking, what if he's, what if this, what if that, what if all these things could happen? If I give you a job, then you have to focus on that, and it takes some of the tension out of you because it makes you a little tired and gives you a good result. And now you're a little bit more relaxed too. Good job, buddy. All right.